Miss me with all those half measures you're trying to make Black Ops 7 look better than it is. Act like you're making all these changes for the better of the community when it's really just fucking Battlefield 6 coming out. Like you were ever going to change anything if Battlefield 6 wasn't coming out this year. Dumbass COD players thinking that little things are changing is going to make the game any better. Same shit, different day. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a good day. And I've been going over a lot of the news for Call of Duty over the last couple of weeks. So actually for a couple of months now, I've been making videos pretty much every single day in order to make sure that I'm covering this news, whether it's on just for me, you know, relaying the information out to you guys. But at the same time, I'm sitting here wondering to myself why we're seeing all these little changes being made to the game, and yet nobody cares that they're doing any of this at all. And I can't really blame them, to be honest. The trailers for the game haven't been at all interesting. The entire Game Live event trailer was fucking garbage, to be honest. The entire campaign for the game looks like a half measure. It looks like it's a giant lead up into their quote-unquote end game for their campaign, which is just another reason for them to add random crap into the game that is not going to make anything interesting at all.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
The only thing that tells me is that when you add an end game, you know, DMZ style PvE mode to the end of your game, is that you're not going to finish your story. You're going to finish your story over the course of a couple seasons. You're going to go over the story by season 3 or 4, which you've already confirmed that you're going to taper off all the content after that. You're just going to drip feed the end of your own campaign in order to get people interested into the game and to play as long as possible. You're making a sequel to Black Ops 2, which is arguably one of the most popular Call of Duties of all time, and yet you're probably going to bastardize the entire story. You're taking all these characters that nobody gives a crap about, and then you're turning them into something nobody has asked for. You're making all these characters like David Mason and Harper and all these characters come back just for the fact of nostalgia. You're not even probably going to carry over any of the cool factor of what these characters used to represent. And that doesn't even cover half of the fact that you're probably going to make the multiplayer just as bad as it always is, just as bad as Black Ops 6, because how can you go from making that game there, have everything going wrong with that game, completely ignore it, and then go, okay, all these fixes that we have, every fix that we have available for this game, let's not implement it, and then put it into our next game that we're releasing in a year, and just re-release it as new stuff. And then, look guys, we're doing everything that we can to make the game better.
I'm about to make myself retarded.
You can't seriously expect people to be lining up out the door for a game that just is coming off the heels of arguably one of the worst Call of Duties that we've had in a long time. It's not the fact that it's bad visually. It's not the fact that it's bad audio-wise. It's the fact that the game isn't fun compared to the older Call of Duties. You have to do is go back and play a game, you know, for example, like Black Ops 2, like the gameplay of this footage, where you can spawn in and actually give yourself a chance or a minute or so where you're running forward. And unless you're a dumbass like me who runs directly at people and not even see them for some reason, then you die. It's like, oh no, and that's just your own fault. That's my fault for not being able to realize that someone is pushing my spawn. My problem is with the new Call of Duties is the fact that you don't even get a chance to do any of that. In the game, every map is like a small square or a thin aisle, like a fucking train that they had you shooting on. Oh god, it doesn't even make any sense to me. How can you go from having these fantastic looking maps and then go for all the way out 10 plus years later and you're making just the craziest brain rot, you know, spawn, start shooting somebody immediately type garbage? You have to actually think about where these players are going. I guarantee that the remake maps that they're making for Black Ops 7s, for example, like Express, is not going to be a popular map for today's standards because it is a wider map. It is a bit of a larger map. And of course you have the 3 lanes in the map, but it's the fact that, oh no, if you spawn somewhere, you might have to take a minute to run forward and actually shoot people properly. I see all these comments talking about how Black Ops 7 is going to outsell Battlefield 6 this year, or vice versa. Battlefield 6 will outsell Black Ops 7 this year. It doesn't really matter which one outsells the other. It's just the fact that one game that has way more hype than the other is forcing the other one to actually finally listen to its community and actually make changes to its game. But the problem is that the changes you're making aren't what people are asking for. You're changing the visuals of guns firing. You're changing the visuals of certain things in your game. You're changing up the movement slightly, the aim assist slightly. That's not what people are asking for. The main complaint that you see all of the time is, of course, skill-based matchmaking and disbanding lobbies. And unfortunately, you probably have quite a majority of people who are willing to not come back to the game, including me, that won't go back to your game because I know your matchmaking system is fucking trash. It's games like Call of Duty that have specific matchmaking systems to where they are obviously rigged in a way that makes the game unplayable for certain people, and especially for people who want to play with their friends. I've had comments all over my videos when I talk about skill-based matchmaking that they can't play with their friends. What kind of game do you want to get onto that doesn't allow you to play with your friends? Why would you not want to play with your friends? It's the fact that when I play with friends, yes, I have people that I know that aren't exactly the most skilled people in the world, but I want to play with them because they're my friends. And then when you play something like Call of Duty, you can't. It's the same thing for Call of Duty. It's the same thing for Halo Infinite. It's the same thing for any of these games that apply a strict skill-based matchmaking. I don't understand how this is the new industry trend. Why are we trying to protect these absolute no-thumb losers from other lobbies? Why are you not allowing them to face off against people who are probably going to be better than them? That's what spurs people into wanting to get better at the game, is when they see someone that is better with them. And obviously, if you have the feeling of, oh, I'm just gonna get off because that guy's crushing me, then you're a fucking loser. For example, when I'm playing the older Call of Duties like Black Ops 2, which I've been playing a lot of on PC, a direct security risk to my entire PC, just so I can play some older Call of Duties. Thanks, Activision, for making your older Call of Duties fucking useless to play and filled with hackers, by the way. I have to sit here and play on lobbies that are at 130 ping, but that's because there's only about 150 people playing the game at a time. I don't care about the fact that I have a high ping playing the game, but it's just the fact that I'm playing the game still at a high ping because I enjoy this game far better than playing your shitty fucking algorithm smacking loser fucking matchmaking system in Black Ops 7. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time with some of this stuff. I mean, seriously, this whole entire thing with the newer Call of Duties at this point just make me want to pull my fucking hair out. Like, I don't even want to enjoy playing your game because when I jump into the game, all I'm doing is getting thrown ads for your shop. I don't want to see ads for your fucking shop. Stop trying to get me to buy stuff. You should just have an option to permanently toggle off these ads, but I know you won't, because every single time you throw an ad in your face, you're hoping that our little brain chemicals go off and go, oh man, I really need to buy that. I really want that in my inventory, when it doesn't fucking matter because it's just going to disappear at the end of the day. And it's like, well, you guys made us get rid of carryover. You can't carry over your skins. Good. I don't want to see all this trashy fucking neon light skins running around anymore, bro. I want to sit there and join a match where I'm playing the fucking Army Rangers and I want my whole team to look like a proper unit in the military. You wonder why everyone's looking at Battlefield 6 like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's because although I don't really like the look of the Pax Armada, the other faction that they're trying to push in Battlefield 6, the NATO faction looks just fine. It looks like you're a proper soldier, and that's all anybody asked for. If you're going to sit there and claim that you're going to be listening to the community as much as you are, why not come out and actually address all the things that we actually care about? When you sit there and address us and say that specifically skill-based matchmaking is completely out of your control, that makes people not want to bother with your game anymore, because if you're not willing to stand up to someone like Activision just because they have a system in their place that makes it to where the lower skill bracket people are more protected, so they sit there and are more susceptible and more manipulated to go into their shop and spend money. They're spending $30-$40 on COD points just to buy some skins, and every single time one of them do that, they're basically buying either another subscription of Game Pass, which is $30, another half of a game that is now $70 fucking dollars at this point. They're spending $35 on COD points. They just bought another half of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Don't understand how people haven't woken up to the idea that these things are completely a manipulation tactic. It is not something in your best interest. It is not there to protect the smaller bracket players. It is there to fucking mess with their minds and higher tier players. When you sit there and play a game and you get a really good game starting off the day, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you want to stay on the game a little bit longer. But then for whatever reason, your dumbass matchmaking system decides that it's going to give you the hardest game possible. Oh, your skill bracket's a little higher because you went 31-5 in a game. You're now going to be playing against iridescent players and the max rank players of all time. Not like we don't know why Call of Duty is failing at this point. We're sitting here seeing a matchmaking system that you don't enjoy and makes it to where you can't play with your friends. You're now playing in a monetization hell to where you're sitting here having to deal with shitty fucking skins all the time and ads being thrown in your face as much as possible. I'm curious on what you guys think. What is driving you away from Call of Duty? Is it the skill-based matchmaking? Is it their matchmaking system? Is it their focus on the monetization? Is it their focus on being insistent on just making the game as long as possible to keep you on there as long as they possibly can because they know the player count drops are always about a month after the game comes out? And unfortunately, I always just seem to be scratching the surface on some of this stuff. There's always just more information to talk about. There's always more issues to talk about. Cheating, server issues, and just a lack of communication overall.
I know, let's try and communicate with it. Duh.
Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and then go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'd really hope you guys come along with me. So that's all I got for today. See you guys later. Bye.